Hello, I'm going to show you how to make a post-mastectomy drain bag. It is a finished dimension of 11 by 11 inches, so a nice square. It has a simple hem and a strap that goes all the way across the body, and this wants to go and fall at the waist, so this line wants to go at your waist. So first up, we're going to need some fabric. You're going to want 2 squares of fabric. However, for those eagle-eyed, may notice this is not a square. So the 11 by 11 inches does not include a seam allowance. So I have 12 inches in height and 11.5 inches across on the width. So here I have on the width, I have 1/4 inch seam allowance. I have 1/4 inch on the bottom as well. And on the top, I'm having 3/4 inch. So cut those. If you want more seam allowance, definitely cut more fabric. I don't need more, so I'm going to go with this. Then we want to turn our fabric pieces together and have them right sides together, also ensuring that they are both the correct way up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sew all the way along one side and then leave the gap, which is the seam allowance, before finishing. And then we're going to pivot on the spot, go all the way across, once again leaving a gap of your seam allowance. So for me it's 1/4 inch, so I'll have 1/4 inch here and one here, and then we're going to go all the way back up to the top and then finish. So let's sew. This is now sewn together, but what you cannot see very well is the stitching. So what we're going to do now is trim the corner off here, like so. Just be careful when you're trimming that you don't actually cut the stitching lines, and do that on both bottom corners. And just make sure you do leave an opening at the top. We're only doing 3 sides right now. If you have an overlocker or an overstitch, overcast, edging foot, whatever you want to call this, you can also now go in and reinforce your seams, or you could also do a zigzag here. I'm going to do that because it's a bag and it would like some reinforcement, I'm sure. Not only is this good because it helps with reinforcement, it also protects the raw edges from fraying out any further if this was to be washed. Next up, we're going to do a strap. Here is my strap. This is the length for my waist height. So what we're going to do first is we're going to fold this strap in half and press it with an iron. Once it's pressed, then what we want to do is, keeping our iron, we want to turn in a small amount of the inside on both sides and press that so it stays in place. Once we've done that, our strap will look a little bit like this. So you can see now I've got those turned in edges and it folds in half. Now I'd recommend pinning it or clipping it. I use little clips, and then what we're going to do is we're going to sew along this edge, ensuring we contain these seams so they don't come out. There we go, and now my strap is sewn, and you can see it's got kind of like little lips from where the bits have gone together, and it has that kind of a black line along one side. Next, we're going to attach our strap to the bag. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to turn this in, whatever our seam allowance is for it. So for me, it was 3/4 inch. However, I'm also then going to want to turn in the inside. I will do that and show you what I mean. There we go. So now I've turned in the edge, so you can see here, so there's no raw edge showing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to poke in our strap as far as we can into the edge. Make sure it goes in a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stitch along the bottom, so catching that seam in and also catching this strap in, and make sure at this stage that your strap is pointing down, and also when you get to the other side, where is it, the other side, don't allow the strap to twist, so make sure it's nice and straight. So we want to pull the strap up and we want to go down, so a line down, then a diagonal, and then down, and then a diagonal, and then across. And that will help reinforce this strap. It's already secured in at the bottom, so it doesn't need a line there. So if we do that now. Once we've done that, we can now turn our bag the right way around, and you can see then your little box to help secure it. And then you might notice your corners don't really want to come out. So what I recommend is using a chopstick. So now you can see I've got nice pointy corners. Just be careful when poking a chopstick from the inside that you don't poke it through the stitching, because it can make a hole. And there we go. One finished 11 by 11 post-mastectomy drain bag. Thank you.